Hello everyone, so for the week of 9th to 13th of March, so let's do a recap. First of all, let's see the trading days and hours, right? So this is 9th to 13th of March. I posted this on February 24. By the way, before we move on, I've got, what have I got? Okay, so I'm working on a new website, so you might as well take a look. It's not open yet, but you know, kind of like I'm working on it, so it'll be a bit more compact and a bit more modern than what we have in here as well. What I'm going to add, what we don't have in this space, but what I'm going to have is I'm going to also check out longer term predictions to see where we would be at seasonally. And also, I'm also thinking about adding the power days. So on what days we'll have good pushes, on what days we'll have to the upside push or to the downside push. Okay, so I'm just going to try to put those as well. As you know, I've been working on vector days. So those days are like pretty much I've done for these assets until 2030. So I'm just going to put them in and it should be okay. So the trade days or the swing days, Monday, Friday for gold, Monday, Friday, euro dollar, Bitcoin Tuesday, Sunday, SP 500 Tuesday, Thursday, Dow Jones Tuesday, Wednesday, NASDAQ Monday, Wednesday, and these are the trade hours for Monday. Just note the UTC +3 if you're new to the website, new to the YouTube channel. This is Tuesday. You can just take a screenshot or go back to it to see how your assets worked out for these hours. This is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and that's basically it. Okay, and as you know, we've got the rest of March all the way into the 3rd of April here upcoming. So now that we can put this aside, now remember what we're trying to do here. We're trying to increase the use of time so that our probability of winning a trade will be much higher than just a technical level. So we want to match a good trading day with our technical analysis and then the intraday price with the intraday time. Okay, so if we get those together, it becomes a good correlation, right? So for that, obviously you need to do your own technical analysis, or if you don't know it, learn, all right? And money management as well. And then you put the timings together, then we should have a trading day which is highly likely more successful than the one that we don't have, you know, if we didn't have timing. So you don't want to be trading just on time, you don't want to be trading just on price. You've got to make sure they're working together. I've also made the club videos available on Vimeo if you want to watch those videos to see what I said and what I did, then you can do so. All right, so this, I think last time I did it was like that. Okay, there. All right, so with gold, remember this week we had Friday and Monday. So Monday market went up, so I was actually bullish and I said we should come up here, and if it's going to break then we will go up. If it doesn't, it's a bit tricky. And then I said on Wednesday it's a bit tricky. Okay, why? Because we had an inside day and the market broke to the downside. Okay, so I said the second option is if we come down it'll be this bar here. And knowing Friday is a trade day, so end of day or in the day we should be dipping in here, and this is the zone that you should be buying. Now if you trade gold a lot, like me, I trade mostly gold. Every now and then I'll trade something else depending on volatility, but mostly it's gold. The other advantage that we have is because we know next week. Okay, so for next week, we know when the next trading days are. So how's that going to help us? Well, that's going to help us in a way that we can actually use this trading day and the next one to kind of follow through. All right, so if we dip down here, then next week's trading day, anything around here for us is going to be a buy opportunity with the intraday price and obviously the timing. If we take a look at the times, the hours, this is Monday, right? Let's start off with Monday. Here we are. This is Monday. So Monday I had 635. That's your 635 market going up from here. Then we had 820. By the way, the platform is the same as my hours. 820, 830. 820, 830 is there. Okay. It's actually that one. Okay, 820, 830 going into there. And then expect some disruptive moves, a bit of disruption move here, up and down. As we get to 135 to 230, 135 is there. All right, so 135 to 230. Now here, as you can see, all of these hours, although they're causing some kind of a move in the market, okay, it's in the middle of nowhere. So you don't want to be trading in the middle of nowhere. You have to check out where the market bought before, where the market sold before. So if you take a look at, for example, the previous week's high, Friday, that's your previous week's high. Asia sold there. Then you can take a look at, well, what's the low of the previous week or the previous trading day to make any sensible decision. You see, look, this zone was a buy zone from Tuesday. So this is the closing of that bar there. All right. So the market dips down, okay, and you see it comes to that zone, but there's no trading hour there. There's nothing to trade there, okay, and until all the way we go into Wednesday. On Wednesday, I did say, look, if the market, because my bias was to the upside with gold, and it still is, I said if it breaks out, then pulls back, then going up could be okay on Thursday as well, if you extend that all the way through. Okay, and you can see again, we're just like nowhere there. Okay, those low prices, except when it comes down here on Friday, and that was not a trading hour, was it? Let's see, 9:15. Sorry, 19:15. So 7:15 in the evening. No, I had 6 o'clock there, which is up there. All right, so if you take a look at those sessions, on Thursday I did say if we break to the upside, which we broke with this trading hour here, and if it comes back for a goodbye kiss, let's take a look at Thursday. I said you could go long with it. Okay, watch the video. In the video I said if after 5 there's a direction, it will go to closing. Okay, I make such comments in the video. There should be. All right, on Friday I wrote it down. On Thursday I'm pretty sure I mentioned it in the video. Just double check. I haven't written it here, but you see, once we've got direction there, that's your target there. All right, so even if you went in long, you would have had a tight stop loss, so you would have been stopped out pretty much here. Okay, but you understand the direction is down and the target is 11 o'clock to closing, right? That's all the way down there. Okay, and because you got that price zone there, and also this bar which I marked in before, that should guide you really. Okay, once you have a breakdown, you understand. Okay, so we're going to go to the downside. And on Friday, look, if you kept that same trend line on, see how the market goes there at the trading hours, and then just boom, collapses down into that 5,000 zone. So time on its own is no good. Price on its own, from my perspective, is no good. But when we bring them together technically, then we're better off. And that's gold, right? So on Monday, like I said, we had Monday and Friday. Monday and Friday, obviously, we're going to be, well, we are down. So next week, trading days, you can check. And from the lows here, I don't mind going up next week on the trading day. let's take a look at euro dollar. Now with the euro dollar we had again Monday, Friday, yeah. So on Monday we were bullish because we were right in the zone. Right in there. And then I've marked in these levels before. Okay, so you see the market went up into that zone, and that was a zone where you needed to cover your trade or manage your trade and do something, but not just sit on your hands, obviously. And then once the market turned around, I said Friday is a trading day. If you want to take it down, then this is the zone. Okay, that's the cause for the consequence, you see. And then that's where we ended up. So now, Friday, trade day, gave us a low. Oh, dear me. Now, next week, we've got 16th to 20th of March. So if you go into your 16th to 20th of March, you know when the next trading days are for the euro dollar. Okay, so that's also going to give you a heads up to see where you can go, on what days you can expect the market to turn around. Once again, all you have to do is just mark in your hours, okay, for whatever you're trading, and see how it goes. Wednesday, what do I have for Wednesday? Wednesday, 11:35. I had, what did I have? London. Okay, Wednesday, 3:35 in the morning. 3:35 in the morning is there. Okay, nothing exciting there. And then I had 11:35. 11:35 is there. Is that exciting? That is exciting. Why? Because look, that's the support of Asia coming from this zone here, okay? And it's a breakout after there. So that's 11:35 to 12:40. 12:40 is there, all right? So that's your breakout there. Then what do you have? Expect sudden moves towards as we get to 150. So let's take a look at 150. That's your 150, okay? And that's your fall down, all right? What did I say afterwards? 150 to 255. Next hours is 6:45, 8:15, and 9. So 6:45, 8:15. This is 6:45 is right there. Okay, all the way into 6:45. 8:15 is there. All right, so that's the zone, and then the market just went sideways. So whatever you're trading, just technical analysis, timing. If they match, trade. If they don't match, just let it go. Also, keeping a better trading discipline is easier with time and price. With Bitcoin, what did I say? Tuesday and Sunday. So tomorrow is going to be a day. Tuesday, going into the weekend, and then we've got Sunday. We'll see how things pan out. After this move, I did say I'd be more bullish on this one. Also, if you take a look here, you can see this is where we dipped once, twice, market going up. So on the pullback, going back up was like logical on this one. If you followed it through, okay, so if you take a look, this is Thursday trading hours going to the upside. This is New York time, pulling back into there. I didn't have hours there, but this were the hours. Why was this okay to buy? Because that's where they bought the previous day on a Wednesday. See, that's a trading hour. This is New York pre-trade session, market buying. Market comes back Thursday. This is London, very, very early Asia session as well. Market buying. So there's room to go up. On Tuesday, did I have hours? Let's see what Tuesday, what did I say for Tuesday hours? Tuesday hours, 1:35. Wait a second, why isn't this working? 1:35. 3:35 on Tuesday. 3:35. That's your 335 just after that move. As we get into, what did I say? If market moves from here, it should push to 640, 820, 10 o'clock. This is 640. It should push into 820. It should push into 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. Next hour's 11:35, 140. 11:35, 140 is there. All right, so nice and easy. And then market, boom, come into the downside. If direction holds, it can keep going to 10 past 7. 10 past 7. 10 past 7. If direction holds, well, the direction held here. I didn't have this hour, but it went up to 10 past 7, where market can turn or continue. It's turned. Okay, so this is where you needed to make sure you're like double checking, managing your trade. And then the target is 9 to 10 o'clock to closing. So let's say 10 o'clock is there, and your closing is pretty much in that zone there. All right, so that's basically how you got to do the time and the price. Make sure you're correlating and not just blindly entering. The beauty is, because times are with price can be like very nice and correct, quite often it's correct, then you've got a tight stop loss, and then if things go in your favor, your risk return is like really, really good. Okay, so this is SP500. Now with SP500, as you know, I was bearish with the indices. Okay, and we had, what do we have? Tuesday, Wednesday? Tuesday, Thursday. So that's your Monday, Tuesday, Thursday market crashing down even further. And then on Dow Jones, we had Tuesday, Wednesday. Let's take a look at Dow Jones. I'm not going, do you want me to go into the, okay, I'll check out a few hours for you to see how it went. That's Friday, 4:30, bang. What else did I have for Friday? Oh, 223.15, 223.15, 223.15, 150, 10 past 1. Okay, this is 11:15. Did I have an 11:15? No. So I had 10 past 1 starting here. So this is the breakout. Okay, 10 past 1. And then it just went all the way into 4:30. Okay, and then turned around. And I said after 6, if there is clear direction, it can flow to closing after 6. If there is direction, that's your 6 o'clock market trying to get up. Bang, the direction is to the downside. 6, it's trying to make a revival. Boom, going into closing. All right, so just check out the hours if you're trading it and see how things panned out for you on the trade day, and also during those hours. Tuesday, for example, the swing day Tuesday. I had 3:35 in the morning. That's the market going up. If market moves from here, it should push to 640. That's 640. Okay, so 640. Make another low here to 820. 640 going into 820 is there. All right, so from that high, I guess, pushing into there, that pushing into there, to 10 o'clock, to 10 o'clock. That's your 10 o'clock, another push to the upside. So on Tuesday, we had 11.35 to 140, 11.35, 140 is that one. Okay, so there, and then bang to the downside. If direction holds, it can go to 10 past 7. So I guess it's talking about this direction. 10 past 7 is there. It can turn or continue, so check your price. It could turn or continue, so check your price. And then here at 9 o'clock, okay, if it has direction, target is 9 to 10. So 9 comes there and then bang, and then it never looks back. What about Wednesday? If somebody wanted to sell on Wednesday, 335, 1135, so 335, that's your 335 there. And then we had 1135, 1135 is there. That's the first breakout. Okay, so we had a support level there in Asia. That's Asia's support, breaking down and then making the support of the previous day. Okay, so we're down here, and then remember we had a swing day Tuesday, so we're thinking to the downside. All right, so we want to sell. Where do you want to sell? When the market raises its head up. You don't want to be selling at support. Where can you sell? Let's see, did I have 2 o'clock on a Wednesday? I had 150 on a Wednesday. That is 150 there. And then I had 255, 155 to 255. Now 255 is here. So no selling here because it's support. Then next hours is 645, 645, 645. That's your 645. Now that you can see, look, okay, what's the difference there? That has broken that support level. Let me bring this down. This is the low. Okay, now what? Look. Market breaks and closes under, and then it's pushing back up. I wouldn't have sold here. In any case, I wouldn't have sold there. And then we've got 815. 815 is there. Okay, that's the retracement of the breakout. Market sells off. It's interesting how they sell off at those hours. And then I've got 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, you wouldn't be selling down here. Okay, boom, boom. But that is okay because impulse, break down, close under the level. We are bearish, pull back, selling is okay. A little tricky here though with the gap. All right, so well, maybe that's pretty much closed it. Okay, so that has closed it actually. So no tricks. That's SP500. Let's take a look at Dow. So we had Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay, so down here, no surprises there. Remember I said this would break, we should come down here. This should also break either on the pullback, we should go up and then break, or it should break, then we should come up here to sell off again. Okay, so those are the things that's going to happen. Why? Because we're expecting the market to dip into this zone, so into that bar. Okay, I can actually just reduce that to there. All right, so on the weekly as well, we still have some room to come down. But before we come down, we have to make sure, we sell on a pullback and not sell where they bought before. Okay, so this zone here, what you can see here, right? Okay, so I don't want to be selling in here. You can only sell in here if it breaks down and then pulls back, then yeah, okay, let's sell. Okay, otherwise though, next week trading days, you can check them out on the website. If we're down here somewhere, we can go up actually to close and then sell off again. So once again, just put your hours like I always do and just check it out. So we've got, what do I have here? Thursday, 450, and before 450 I had what, 125. So 125 is there. Okay, market goes down, coming up, selling off 3 o'clock. That's your 3 o'clock. Boom, selling off. And then 450 to 5 o'clock. So that's New York down here. 450 to 5 o'clock. It's a little tricky. But the bias is to the downside. So obviously that, okay, is bearish, right? Once again, it's the same thing. Look, market makes a low. We break through, close under it. We're mucking around here. So if we go up, we want to sell. And our bias is to the downside. So then you look for the hours. What do I have there? Well, after 450 and 5 o'clock here, there's nothing here. There's nothing to do here. Time-wise, I don't have an hour until closing. Okay, so you would have done that technically if you were going to trade it. Let's take a look at NASDAQ. Wednesday. What was it? Monday, Wednesday. That's your Monday going up. That's your Wednesday coming down. All right, so nice and easy. Okay, I'm not going to go over the hours again, but remember the important thing here is you want to upgrade yourself with time and price. Okay, so getting the right technical analysis and then matching your trade days. For example, if you're a swing trader, right? Knowing the trade days is like an advantage because you can say, well, wait a minute, I know how to swing trade. I'm just going to match it to the day, and that's it. And then you can even match it to the hours. So that's also not a problem either. And the same thing with whatever you're trading. And that's it. Like I said, I'm waiting to finish off the new website. I'm going to do it myself because of these subcontractors. This is just freelancers not getting stuff done. So I'm taking care of it myself, and I've designed it in a better way, in a more concise way, like I said, where we'll have further future forecasts as well for whatever the things that we're trading. All right. And that's basically it. If you have any queries, questions, then feel free to get back to me. Drop me a line. I'm more than happy to help. Have a good weekend.